From the islands where the sun meets the sea, Jason's the voice we all wanna be. Interviewing creators, making comics come alive. With every story, he helps us thrive. Jason from Hawaii, diving in deep, unveiling the stories that we wanna keep. From creators to heroes, he's got the scoop on the comics for fun and profit loops. So tune in.
Aloha, it's Jason from Hawaii. Welcome to a very special edition of the Comics for Fun and Profit podcast. In this episode, I will be going over the Ringo Award winners that were announced on the weekend at Baltimore Comic Con, the weekend of October 17th to the 19th, 2025. I'm going to cover the top 3 cover price comics for the week of October 20th. And also, too, I'm going to focus on the number 15 spot on that list. And also, I'm going to talk about what I picked up this week in comics, action figures, and digital movies, and what is also coming out next week on October 29th. Now, you guys are wondering, where is Kyle and Drew? Well, I am covering for them this week because they are on a worldwide adventure in search of comics. They will be diving into the depths of a bunch of dollar bins, looking for hidden treasures, and scouring the globe, looking for that exclusive Action Comics #1 that is 10.0 CGC. So that's what they're doing right now. So I'm just covering for them. So I'm going to say, let's get started with this episode. Now, as I mentioned, the Ringo Award winners. Now, I've got the list of the winners. Now, they, again, like I mentioned, they were announced at Baltimore Comic Con this last weekend on October 17th to the 19th. Now, the list that I got is from The Beat, written by Heidi McDowell. Now, this is dated on October 20th, 2025. If you're interested in reading up a little bit more on the award ceremonies and so forth. Also, too, in that Beat's the Beat article website. Now, if you want to, they have the full ceremony attached to that article. So if you want to get a chance to just see what the Ringo Awards ceremony is about, you can check it out through that article, or you can go on YouTube and just type in the Ringo Awards 2025 and it'll pop up there for you. Now, the Ringo Awards celebrates the legacy of artist Michael Lance Mike Ringo, who passed away on August 12, 2007 at the young age of 44 from an apparent heart attack. So, yeah, as you can see, this award, show is to honor him and, for the people in the comic book industry. So I'm going to start going through the list right now. Hopefully, I'm going to be honest with you. Please forgive me if I mispronounce names. Also, too, I know there are like sections of the awards and so forth. I guess maybe who voted for what and so forth. But I'm just going to start off with the list. Now, I'm going to start off with fan favorites. Favorite villain, Mr. Barnaby from Warm Fusion. I believe it's Warm Fusion Comics from Distillery. Favorite news series, The Pedestrian by Magma Comics. Favorite new talent, Annie Wright. Now, I was trying to look up her background, like, is she a comic book writer or artist? Honestly, I couldn't find too much. There was another different Annie Wright, and I wasn't too sure if this is the same person who won this fan favorite award. Favorite publisher, Mad Cave Studios. Favorite hero, Alex in Senorita Cometa, NASA Webtoons comic. Now, for this other section, jury and fan voting awards. Best series, The Pedestrian. The Pedestrian by Magna Comics. Best cover artist. I'm going to try to pronounce this creator's name. Beliquis Evely. Best letterer, Richard Starkings. Best humor webcomic, Nothing But, and that's spelled with Butt, Nightwing. Now, this is on the DC Infinite app. It's the DC Go. It's I guess one of those exclusive. It's one of those exclusive digital comics on the DC Infinite app. Best original graphic novel, Jane American. That's self-published. Best artist or penciler slash inker team, Chris Samney. Best writer, Kelly Thompson. Best presentation and design, David Mazzucchelli's Batman Year One Artist Edition. That's through IDW Publishing. Best anthology, Transphoria, Lifeline Comics. Best kids or graphic novel, Hilda and Tweeg Hide from the Rain, Fly Eye Books. Best nonfiction comic work, In the Shadows of Stalin, the story of Mike Jones, that's from Oni Press. Best cartoonist, writer slash artist, Eric Powell. Best web comic, Resistance of Raven. Now again, that's a DC Go exclusive web comic that's only comes out through the DC Internet app. Best colorist, Jordi Belair. Best humor comic, Smut number one. Now that's self-published. Best single issue or story, Batman and Robin Year One. And then the Mike Ringo Spirit Award, Welcome to Maynard, Dark Horse Comics. Now the Hero Initiative Awards, the Dick Giordano Humanitarian of the Year Award, it goes to comic book creator Stan Sakai. Hero Initiative Lifetime Achievement Award, Kevin Nolan. Now, if you guys go to conventions, Kevin Nolan, he is the nicest guy. He was here for Comic-Con Honolulu a couple years ago. It was nice to meet him. It was great talking to him, and his wife as well. So if you guys get a chance, please, if he's at your convention, stop by, talk to him. He's a great guy. And then lastly, now I'm going to try to pronounce this one. The Brogan Fidelity Award that goes to artist Mike McCann. So, that's it for the list of winners for the Ringo Awards. Yeah, so it's just, just congratulations to all the comic book creators and publishers that have won this year's 2025 awards. Now I'm going to continue on. I'm going to move on to cover price for the week of December 20th. Now, like I said, I'm just going to go over a few of them. I'm not going to go through all 20, like the top 10 and the bottom 10, because I'm just going to pick out some of them. Like number one is The Monsters and the Werewolf. Now this is a blind bag one. Now it reads, this blind bag has taken over the top 10 and most of the aftermarket. Mark Spears has been an extremely influential artist this past year. His work on Mark Spears Monsters has made his art styles a hot commodity in the comic book collecting world. Following the latest trend in comics, Mark Spears released his new series under the promotional strategy of blind bags. The blind bags were released with over 90 varying covers, varying in rarities from common cardstock covers to extreme rare, quote-unquote, unholy grails. There are fans willing to spend any price to get the cover they want, while others are happy to chase the cheaper blind bags and take a chance on pulling an extreme rare cover. We track 342 copies sold at a 7-day growth trend of 257%, with a high sale of $25 for raw near mint and a current raw near mint fine mint value of $14. Now, number two on the cover price list is Something is Killing the Children, A Monster Hunter Walks into a Bar, number one. Now, this is the 2025 New York Comic Con SIKTC comic pack. Now, Floppies has had a great year of debuting new comic book art. In an era where fans enjoyed the retro-looking art styles, flops fit in. You may recall his top trending comic in January of this year when his cover for Canto, A Place Like Home #6 landed in the top 10 of that week's release. This time, he brings his signature art style to Something is Killing the Children. The style is perfect mesh of the neon colors and placing Erica Slaughter right at the center of it all. What brings it all together is that this book is also a spot UV cover, limited to 400 copies. This book got so hot on the aftermarket that it is the only non-Mark Spears book to feature on the top 10 this week. We tracked 9 copies sold at a 7-day growth trending of 100% with a high sale of $120 for raw near mint and a copy and a current raw near mint fine very mint of $116. Now the number 3 spot on the cover price list. This is the one I'm going to talk about. Now it's Mark Spears Monsters. The Monster and the Wolf #1 blind bag cover A48. Now, as fans open their blind bags, many covers hit the aftermarket. The idea behind it being sell off a trending cover you don't want so you can fund the cover you do want. The massive explosive of blind bag covers took over the aftermarket, and the most popular covers saw top returns like this quote unquote happy anniversary cover. We tracked 11 copies sold at a 7-day growth trend of 100% with a high sale of $65 for a raw near mint copy and a current raw near mint FMV of $58. Now, the reason why I'm picking this one out is because um, now on Blue Sky, I follow Not Near Mint and Mike Myers. Now, this is a homage cover to the Class Chamber of Chills quote unquote happy anniversary cover, where a skeletal hand is raising a glass to give a toast to his wife. And the wine glass cover, is like kind of part on her face and it kind of reveals part of her skull, and that's pretty cool. It's a classic cover, and that was based it's a homage from Chambers of Chills 19. Now, Not Near Mint posted that this is the 2025 Macroverse facsimile of the 1953 iconic Lee Elias cover published prior to the Comics Code Authority. The original art for this PCH or pre-code horror cover was auctioned for $174,000 in 2020. Now, this was recreated for a Misfits Now, this is a classic where it's been recreated for the Misfits album cover and homage, and it's a horror staple, you know, um, I guess through pop culture and so forth. So I just thought that was a very cool cover. Um, yeah, so if you guys get that famous that cool Mark Spears monster cover, blind bag cover A48, that's a cool cover. That's a really nice cover. Now, now, like I said, I'm not going to go through the whole list of the cover price, but one I do want to pick out is number 15 on the cover price list. Now, that is Absolute Batman number 13. Now, that's in the Nick Dragotta Stealth Mode 1 in 25. Now, Absolute Batman continues to be one of the top-selling series of 2025. This issue is the first appearance of Absolute Catwoman and Harley Quinn. This issue is heavily marketed, reduced the traditional explosion of cover A sales. Instead, the 1 in 25 retail incentives have been a hot variant to track down. We tracked down 17 copies at a 7-day growth trend of 51% with a high sale of $29 for a raw near mint copy and a current raw near mint FMV of $20. Now, I'm going on top of my head because I heard about Absolute Batman number 13, that this was the appearance of Absolute Catwoman. And, I'm going to say, because my comics are in reading stacks right now, I want to say, I think I picked up two copies of this issue from Westside Comics and Games, because again, it was the first appearance of Absolute Catwoman. And you know what? I didn't even know that this was going to be the first appearance of Absolute Harley Quinn in this issue as well. Okay, so now that's a perfect segue for me to start talking about what comics I picked up for this week for October 22nd. So I picked up Immortal Batman number 3. That's an Elseworld um, miniseries. I think it's a 6-issue miniseries. I also picked up the conclusion to the new history of the DC Universe number 4. I picked up Superman number 31. I picked up Predator Kills the Marvel Universe number 3. Yeah, I just had to get down. That looked pretty awesome. Spider-Girl number 5. I also picked up the Gunslinger Spawn as well. I forgot. I want to say it was probably, I forgot what number that was. I forgot to write that one down. So, and I also picked up this cool trade paperback that's been sitting in the cheap bins at Westside Comics and Games. It's been sitting there for the last 2, 3 weeks. I got it literally, I got it really cheap. It's the classic GLA, the Grant Morrison, Howard Porter run trade of Rock of Ages storyline that ran GLA issues 10 to 15. I can't wait to sit down and read that trade. And like I said, after I read it, it's a reading copy. After that, I'll read that, and I'm just going to give it away to my friend's son. So I just think that would be so cool. Now, also too, what I picked up this week too was I'm also I collect action figures, you know. So this week I picked up the Indiana couple figures or a number of figures from the Indiana Jones Adventure series. Now, these are the 6-inch action figures. Um, they're the quality is very good. I love it. Now, the reason, I'm, I'm picking up some of these action figures is to kind of like do my own World War II crossover with my Captain America Marvel Legends action figure. I I just think that's so cool that with these action figures, they're pretty much almost the same, height and same designs, and it's so cool because I was just thinking about it in the last couple of weeks. Like, wouldn't it be cool, like, if Captain America, you know, in World War II had crossed over with Indiana Jones, either trying to look for the uh, the Tesseract, or the Lost Ark of the Covenant, or I could try to make up my own adventure and they try to look for the Spear of Destiny. So I just thought that was so cool. So what the action figures that I bought was I bought the combo pack, the Marcus Brody and Renee Belloc. Now, this Belloc, he's dressed all in the white suit where he's leading the Nazi troops to an area on the island that they just landed on before they opened the Ark of the Covenant. So I believe, yeah, this was when it first came out. I want to say it was like 35 to 40 bucks, but I got it off of Amazon for less than 25 bucks. I just thought that was pretty cool to get two action figures basically for almost 25 bucks. And I also bought Major Arnold Toth. Now he's the one that in the bar fight scene, Raiders of the Lost Ark, where he grabs the medallion that they're all looking for to find the Lost Ark of the Covenant, and that was the medallion that burned in his hand. So that's the character Toth. Um, so I picked him up because I think he would have been the perfect Hydra agent during Cap's World War II era. It's so cool. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to find maybe like you know, um, the Marvel Legends Red Skull at a pretty good price. I want to say I think most of them are like 30 bucks and up, and I'm like, that's just a little too expensive. So, um, I mean, I still will probably, check on Amazon every so often to see if they have either, um, if the prices have gone down, or one of the toy shows here that we have here in Hawaii, like at least once or twice a year. So I'll be no matter what, I'll just still keep looking for that Red Skull action figure to see if I could like include that in part of the crossover with Cap and Indiana Jones. That'll be so cool. Now, the digital movies I picked up this week. Now, these were like $5 deals on the Apple Store. One of them was Dave. It's stars with Kevin Kline and Sigourney Weaver. That was a great 1990s comedy. That was a very good movie. Basically, Kevin Kline plays, you know, two characters. One guy, his, um, yeah, that, about basically how, he plays, you know, yeah, two different characters. One guy basically replaces the president who had a stroke. I'll talk about that movie more later in future episodes, of the Comics for Fun and Profit. You know, the other comedy I also picked up too was City Slickers. That one has Billy Crystal, Jack Palance, Daniel Stern, Bruno Kirby. That was a fun movie. I remember that's a classic from the 1990s. And again, in future episodes, I'll talk more about that movie that I picked up because, um, honestly, I just don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. Um, and plus, I want to start moving on to that. There are some comics that are coming out next week, and I want to start talking about some of them. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to go through, you know, all the comics that are coming out next week. I'm just going to focus on like some DC, some Marvel, some independent comics. So these are the comics that are coming out on October 29th. Now, I got this list from the League of Comics Geeks website. So I'm going to start off in the DC where, Absolute Batman 2025 annual #1 comes out. Batman and Robin Year One, issue #12 comes out. Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, issue #10 comes out. I just think it's a kind of ironic that issue or that Batman series, The Long Halloween, is going to come out during the week of Halloween. And also, too, Superman Red and Blue 2025 special #1. Now, I'm going to focus on Marvel right now. So, on Marvel, there's the all new Spider-Girl Ghost Spider #3, Venom Black, White, and Blood #3, the Mortal Thor #3, Black Cat #3, Imperial #4. I believe that one is wrapping up their cosmic miniseries, the Imperial miniseries. Emma Frost, the White Queen #5, Death of the Silver Surfer #5, Runaways #5, and that one is the One World Under Doom event tie-in. Now, also too, that's coming out next week. I just thought this was cool. Um, Deadpool and Batman #1. Now it's the second printing. Now it's with a new cover by Ryan Stegman that's introducing Logo. Now, I think it's a cool mashup between Logan and Lobo, and the character, has, he looks like Lobo, but he's got Logan's spike hair, and he's sitting on like Lobo's bike. That looks so cool. The cover is awesome. So this past week, I asked Julius, the owner of my LCS, Westside Comics and Games, to see if he can order me that um, second print because, like I said, I just think that's such a cool cover. And also, too, I mean, we know this. Probably a year, 2 years from now, when DC and Marvel are going to go, "Hey, remember when we did that logo character? We introduced him on the cover of that Deadpool Batman #1, where Ryan Stegman did the art on that. Let's do a story." And I wouldn't doubt it if they do it. That would be pretty awesome. And also too, I think it's also a nice callback to when Marvel and DC did their event, um, Marvel versus DC, where there was that two or three page where Wolverine versus Lobo, and it was drawn by Dan Jurgens. I can't remember correctly, but I want to say I think it was a little bit of a controversy because, and spoilers if you guys haven't read this, this 30-year-old comic book, but again, also too, the DC versus Marvel comic book series and it's out in omnibus form in the omnibus format. Um, but I think, yeah, if I remember correctly, I think people were upset that Logan or Wolverine had won that fight against Lobo. Yeah, so I just thought that was a nice, cool. So I think that's a nice callback, and I think it's a nice, cool mashup on this second printing cover that's done by Ryan Stegman. Okay, I'm sorry. So I'm going to still continue with Marvel Comics. Now, also too, the X-Men event, Age of Revelation still is continuing on Deadpool #1, X-Patriots, X-Men #1, Cloak or Dagger #1, and X-Vengers #1. I'm waiting for Marvel to do a X Sighting Men #1. I'm joking on that part. All right. So, some of the independents. Supernatural #1 from Dynamite Comics, written by Greg Pak and Eder Masena on art. It's a 32-page comic book going at for $4.99. Again, for you Supernatural fans who love the series that was on the CW, it's back. It's coming back in the comics. So again, Supernatural #1. Um, from Image Comics, Sam and Twitch, Case File #19. Now, this is Drew's favorite book, so that's coming out next week. Rat City #1, written by Erica Schultz. A friend of the podcast, is coming out. Universal Monsters, Dracula Black and White Special #1, just in time for Halloween. Now, I looked this up, and basically, it's a remastered version of the first two issues of this series in black and white. Now, this is by James Tynion, the fourth writer, and Martin Simmons on art. Now, this is a 56-page book for $6.99. So, my now the next independent publisher I'm going to focus on is on Ahoy Comics. Now, the Toxic Avenger Comics #4, written by Matt Bors and Fred Harper and Erica Henderson on art. Now, that's a 32-page comic at $4.99. Um, this, the Ahoy Comics got the licensed property of the Toxic Avengers. I know I want to say, I think they're the the Toxic Avenger miniseries from Ahoy Comics came out last year or earlier this year by Matt Bors and Fred Harper. If you guys get a chance, pick up that trade paperback. It is a very good story. It's Matt Bors updated and modernized the Toxic Avengers origin story. Fred Harper on art makes the Toxic Avengers beautifully grotesque, but yet very tender. It's like I said, it's really good. Fred Harper does a very good job of making the Toxic Avenger um be a little more human in some of the in what he does and so forth. It's really good. So if you guys get a chance, pick up that miniseries and also pick up the Toxic Avenger comics. Now, also too, um, from Ahoy Comics is Toxie Team Up #5. Now, this is the one I believe it's teaming up with some of the Ahoy Comics characters. I know there's going to be a future. issue where uh, the Toxic Avenger teams up with um, Dragonfly Man. So, in this team up number five, Matt Bors and Ben Clarkson. Now, this is the creative team on Ahoy Comics Justice Warriors. Now, the solicit reads breakout writer you know, um, Matt Bors, um, two Ahoy series collide in a hail of bullets. Appointed by a president to dump cargo of waste in outer space, the Toxic Avenger touches back down to Earth in the dangerous future of the Justice Warriors. Officer Swamp and Officer Shit fight, subdue, and arrest him before the menace of radioactive space invader forces them to team up. Because that's how team up comics work. Now, this is a 32-page issue for $3.99. Now, also to another comic book that I want to point out that's coming out next week. Now, this is a second printing. Because I'll be on, and it's from Ignitions Press. I'll be honest with you. I thought they were going to start coming out with some of their comics, later on this year or something. I've picked up the Ash Can for now. This the comic book Murder Podcast number one. Now this is a second printing. I've seen some of the Ash Can comics at Westside. I picked up a couple of them. That's still on my reading stacks. So I I do want to check it out because it sounds pretty good. Now, the solicit read for this, now writer Jeremy Hahn and art by Mike Tesseract. Now, this comic book is from Ignition Press, from the creator of The Beauty and soon to be a prestige FX series from Ryan Murphy, comes a whole new concept of modern horror. Fans of true crime podcasts are noticing brand new episodes of a show that they thought was over in appearing in their feed, but when they queue up the first episode, they find themselves overtaken by a murderous urge, one that only stops when the killer is stopped, leaving a gruesome death toll in its wake. For Mina and her friends, these killings are just another topic of their daily gossip and potential new case for the next true crime story they can't get enough of. Yet, as the killings get closer and closer with their own lives, it becomes clear that there is more going on below the surface than any of them realize. Now, this is written by Jeremy Hahn with art by, by art by animation veteran and comics next superstar. That's what the solicit says. Mike Tesseract. This debut Ignition Press title will make you think twice the next time you fire up those earbuds and press play on your phone. So I'm hoping with this episode that it makes you guys go out and buy comics. That's what I'm hoping. Of course, I'm just joking. All right. So the next comic from Ignition Press is The Beauty number one. Now, soon to be a television series produced and showrunner by Ryan Murphy and premiere on FX this fall, the smash hit comic The Beauty returns to comic shops with a brand new volume. Set in a world not unlike our own, The Beauty chronicles what happens when a new sexually transmitted disease begins to spread. Only this is a disease that people actually want, as those who contract it are literally changing into more beautiful versions of themselves. The only hitch is a slight fever and eventually death. But isn't that an easy price to pay to be gorgeous? This new series follows several characters as they deal with the beauty and how it changed society around them. A thief for hire on a dangerous job, a meteorologist with plummeting ratings, and special agents specializing in the beauty-related crimes will all find their lives converging in an unexpected way, and some fan favorite characters from the original series will return as well. Now, again, this is written by Jeremy Hahn and Jason A. Hurley, and this time around they are joined by superstar artist Emma Lapaccio, Lapacino. I'm sorry I'm butchering that name. Um, you might know that artist's work from World's Finest Teen Titans. For an intriguing morality play that blends crime, horror, and action for comic books unlike any other. Now, this is a 24-page comic, The Beauty #1, and it's at $4.99. So, pretty much that's basically it for next week's um, comics that are coming out on October 29th. Now, my picks, you know, my picks for the comics that are coming out next week, I'm going to say Absolute Batman 2025 Annual One. That's going to be my fun pick that I'm going to read. My Now, my spec pick or my profit pick is going to be Deadpool Batman number 1, second printing with that awesome Ryan Stegman cover introducing logo. I think that's going to be really cool. And like I said, I already put in ordering with Julius, and Julius says hopefully he can get it. If not, there's other shops around the island. I can probably see if they can pick it up and so forth. So that's it, everybody. That's it for this episode. I'm planning to do another one next week. Um, and slowly but surely, I get a little more comfortable, more, go with the flow type deal. Hopefully it works out better. Um, and I just want to thank Drew, the host of Comics for Fun and Profit. You know, Drew, just thank you very much for all your hard work behind the scenes. And thank you for letting me contribute to your podcast. Thank you very much. Thank you for letting me, do these little fill-in episodes. Just thank you very much, Drew. And, Drew and Kyle, I hope you guys, you know, you know, just, I hope, I hope things, I hope you guys come back soon, start doing more episodes again, you know, and listeners, I want to thank you guys. Thank you very much for listening to this episode. Just, thank you. You guys see me kind of bumbling around and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I just want to say thank you very much. Um, and with these episodes, I just always want to end by saying, read what you love, watch what you love. Who cares what people say? You know, the main thing is as long as you enjoy it, that's the main thing. So again, listeners, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for listening to this episode. Until next time, guys. Aloha.